Hey, what's up, folks? It is I, Will, once again with Exposing the IWC. Last night, we got some actual surprises on NXT. Like NXT is where you get the surprises these days. Typically the WWE is pretty straightforward, but I did not have Obafemi winning, not at all. I did not have Kendall Gray winning, not at all. Javon Evans, pretty straightforward, but yeah, Kendall Gray, Obafemi winning. Those are surprises. Welcome surprises, by the way. I don't mind that one bit. I prefer Obafemi facing Cody Rhodes. I just prefer Obafemi in general to Ricky Saints. And Kendall Gray being pushed this hard, this fast, feels fun, fresh, and I don't see why anybody would have a problem with it. Even though I'm seeing online, there are some concerns that people have. We can discuss that if you want. If you want to dive down that rabbit hole, talk about why Kendall Gray got pushed, but Callie Armstrong did not. I mean, it is what it is. We can talk about it. We can talk about it if you want to. We can dive into that if you want. But I see that's the narrative I'm seeing now online. Why is Kendall Gray getting this push, but Callie Armstrong didn't? We can talk about that if you really want to. As long as you're ready to hear the actual truth and not some BS, we can talk about that. Oba should have lost. He shouldn't have lost the first time. I agree. Especially if... I'm curious. Because Javon Evans did win the Iron Survivor. Will Javon Evans beat Obafemi at New Year's Evil? And if he does, what was the point of taking the belt off Obafemi, unless it's something that happened behind the scenes we don't know about? Maybe Obafemi had to leave and do something away from wrestling for some reason. That's why they took the belt off of him. But beyond that, I don't know why you would even do that. I was surprised. I thought we were going to get a heavy dose of Ricky Saints as champion, even though I didn't think it made much sense as to why you would bother having Obafemi lose to him. Be fair, but especially if you're going to stay in NXT. Now, if you're calling him up, then who cares? Call him up, whatever. Who cares? It doesn't matter what happens in NXT. If you get called up to main roster, it does not matter. But because they were having him hang around, I was confused as to why they bothered taking the belt off of him to begin with. No disrespect to Ricky Saints, but it just didn't make any sense to me. But it is what it is. I don't want to spend that much time talking about the men's Iron Survivor. Fun match. Winner, fine. I want to talk about the result of the match and what does that mean for the future of NXT. But let's start with Kendall Gray. I want to start with the women's Iron Survivor. Good match. I thought Kalani Jordan was the main event. She was the MVP of the match. I think her heel work during the match was good. Taking out Soruka, just being that main contributor to all the spots. Didn't put a foot wrong. Spanish fly to the outside, 450 splash, just hitting all her marks, doing the character work, being entertaining, doing good stuff all around. I thought Kalani Jordan was fantastic and MVP of the match. I thought everybody did a good job. I think the Iron Survivor is probably my favorite match type now. Always fun, is always entertaining, and how they produce the finishes and how they produce the pinfalls and how that works with the penalty box and how that all comes together. It's always very fun to see, very entertaining. I had a ball with that match. Every year I do. My favorite match type. It's my favorite. They should bring the Iron Survivor to the main roster, but don't put all the old guys in it, okay? Don't put all the 40-year-olds in it. Keep it fresh and interesting. I don't need to see CM Punk and LA Knight and all the oldies in the Iron Survivor, okay? If you bring it to the main roster, I want to see some speed, some quickness, all right? But they won't do that anyway. But I do think it should be on the main roster soon, and it should replace War Games. Give me the Iron Survivor instead of War Games. It makes sense. Survivor Series, the Iron Survivor, it kind of lines in name-wise. I mean, it's a perfect fit. The Iron Survivor should be at Survivor Series. Duh. I mean, that's the easy one, Triple H. Make it happen. But Kendall Gray, she won. Perfectly fine with that. She is being pushed right now. Her amateur background in wrestling has helped her develop in the ring very quickly. She's smooth. She's quick. She's awesome to see. She is very likable. She got everything going for her. I am a big fan of Kendall Gray, and I've been a fan of hers since last year, or 2024, which was last year. I've been a fan. I remember watching her match with Connie Jordan. I saw how they were using their backgrounds. Connie Jordan using her gymnastics, Kendall Gray using her wrestling, and how they're interchanging. And I was like, wow, this is like very, very fun to watch. She's very fun to watch. And with that likability she has, and with her just that natural babyface thing she got going, she said she wants to be the female version of Kurt Angle. And I think she can do that. I am all about Kendall Gray. And I think most people are. Most people are on the Kendall Gray train. But there are some that have been pushing back a little bit, saying, what's the big deal? Why Kendall Gray? If I have to explain to you why she's so good, we're going to have a problem. If I have to explain to you why she's good in the ring and why she's fun to watch, then I don't know what we're going to be doing. So we just can't have an actual conversation if I have to explain why she's good, right? But if you're saying, okay, why is she being pushed more so than the last champion? Well, my response would be, this was always going to happen. It was always going to be the case for Kendall Gray. What do I mean? Have you seen the Evolve poster? Let me pull up the Evolve poster. Okay, just take a look. WWE Evolve. All right, let's look at the poster. The original poster. Well, I think it's been the only poster. Do you see who that is? Let's zoom into that. There's a woman in the middle there. Who is that? I see Kylie Armstrong to the right. Allie's over there. And there's a woman right here. What's her name? Oh, that would be Kendall Gray. Okay. If you've been paying attention, if you've been in the know, this was always going to happen. They were always banking on Kendall Gray. She was always the chosen one. Now, it shows you how much they like Kylie Armstrong, that they put the belt on her at first, right? But Kendall Gray was the one that was going to get this push from the get-go. So this shouldn't be a surprise. They've been on the Kendall Gray bandwagon. They're on the train. Why? She's good in the ring. She picked it up very fast. Very interesting in the ring, how she uses her amateur wrestling background to work in the ring. She is fun to watch, and she has a lot of upside. Now, I brought up on Twitter that, because people were saying, why is Kendall Gray getting the push, not Kylie Armstrong, and they start talking about race? Now, I'm not the one to shy away from that topic, okay? I'll perfectly talk about that if you want me to, okay? WWE doesn't want to push Kylie Armstrong because of, the particular reasons. First of all, like I said before, if you've been paying attention, Kendall Gray was always the one. Look at the damn poster for Evolve. She was the one. That's number one. Number two, Kendall Gray has more upside. What do you mean by that? Because of her look? Because of her skin complexion? No. Because of her in-ring already being so advanced at a young age, because she's 7 years younger than Kylie Armstrong. Kylie Armstrong is 31. Kendall Gray is 24. There's more upside. There's more money to be banked off of Kendall Gray. So she's better than her already in the ring, in my opinion. If she's 7 years younger already, well, not already, you can't change. You're 7 years younger. That'll be the case forever. She has more upside, okay? Upside is potential plus age plus existing level and the chance to get better, okay? So Kendall Gray is 7 years younger. She's already better in the ring, in my opinion. Very likable, has marketability, just like Kylie Armstrong, but there's more upside in Kendall Gray, just like there's a lot of upside in Tiffany Stratton because of her age, athleticism combination, so on and so forth. It's very simple. Now, if you want to come at NXT for pushing certain talent over others, I mean, that's kind of silly considering, let's just keep it real. The current champion is Obafemi, right? The man who just won on Survivor is Javon Evans. Both of those people are black men. Now, if you're saying, wait a minute, the problem is black women in NXT. So which one is it? Because on the main roster, they say Triple H loves black women but hates black men. But then on NXT, they hate black women and like black men. See, when you have this conversation about race and you push that to the forefront, just make sure it is consistent logically, right? Because if not, you're going to sound kind of silly. So Shawn Michaels likes black men but hates black women, and Triple H likes black women but hates black men. Is that what you're going to argue right now? No, it's a weird coincidence what's happening right now when it comes to Triple H and the black dudes and Shawn Michaels and the black chicks. This is weird, right? Ultimately, Obafemi and Javon Evans will be big players on main roster. Then people will say, oh, I guess Triple H likes black men now, right? It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Like I said, when it comes to Kelly Armstrong, Kendall Gray, it was always going to be Kendall Gray from the get-go. That's why she's on the front of the damn poster, okay? And I believe it's warranted because I think Kendall Gray is freaking amazing right now. She's killing it. Okay? That's my 2 cents on it. You can disagree. Kelly Armstrong's more green. Yeah, I think Kendall Gray is better in the ring than her. Unfortunately for her, she's already 30. So Kelly Armstrong got to come along very quickly. Because once you start wrestling in your 30s, you're going to have a problem when it comes to these younger chicks, especially when they're on the same level as you, if not already better. You're going to have to progress at an insane rate. Well, Kendall Gray is doing. Now, do I think she's going to beat JC Jane? I would say no, but what do I know? I didn't think she's going to win this match, so who's to say? I think she's going to lose to JC Jane. I don't think they're going to have a situation where Fatal Influence have 2 belts, but JC Jane drops her belt first. So I think she will retain. Now, all bets are off if we have a transfer window coming up at the end of the year. I believe that is possible considering SmackDown is reportedly going to 3 hours. So if SmackDown's going to 3 hours, you're going to want more talent. So the plan is we're going to call up Obafemi, which is why we're going to have Obafemi featured against Cody Rhodes, which I like a lot. We're going to introduce the main roster audience to Obafemi in the Cody Rhodes match, because Obafemi is going to lose to Javon Evans and move up to SmackDown during the transfer window, assuming there is one. That's the case, and they want JG Jane on the main roster during that transfer window, then I can see that happening, but I don't think so. I think Fatal Influence stays a unit going into Stand and Deliver, which means Kendall Gray will lose, which is fine. She don't have to be a double champ right now. That'd be kind of crazy. Evolve champ and NXT champ. I'm going to guess Kendall Gray loses to JT Jane. Now, Obafemi versus Javon Evans, that's a toss-up depending on what's the plan for Obafemi. Is Obafemi going to the main roster to help SmackDown when it goes to 3 hours? Then he should lose, right? But I'm not sure. JT Jane is definitely walking into Stand and Deliver as champion. I think so as well. But who knows? Keeping Jordan Grace in NXT till April will be a dumb decision. I agree, which is why it's smart that you lost. Last night, she can finish up her feud with Kalani Jordan and then move up. I mean, it's perfect. I don't care about JG Jane not winning an NXT belt. That's fine. It's meaningless. You have your feud with Kalani Jordan, you end it, move up to SmackDown. It makes perfect sense. I'm going to assume we're going to have a transfer window at the end of the year because SmackDown is going to 3 hours. So I'm gonna assume the reason why they're not pushing Jordan Grace is because they're gonna wrap it up here with Kalani Jordan, and she's gonna go up to the main roster. And if that's the case, why not just have Javon Evans beat Obafemi? It's gonna feel weird, but ultimately it doesn't really matter when it comes to NXT losing. NXT doesn't matter. Win or lose, doesn't matter. You get called up the main roster, and your booking completely changes. Look at Lash Legend, okay? She lost to Kendall Gray. Speaking of Kendall Gray, speaking of her, Lash Legend lost to Kendall Gray right before. Now she's on main roster, knocking out Alexa Bliss, knocking out Charlotte Flair, looking strong with Nia Jax. Doesn't really matter what happened to you right before the call up. What matters is what happens once you get called up. So Jordan Grace, Obafemi, SmackDown, why not? Makes sense to me. Everybody is high on Kendall Gray. People are gonna lose their shit when Azumi eventually comes to NXT. Well, yeah, she's fantastic in the ring, very quick, very nimble. I'm a big fan of hers. Can move very well. Yeah, if Azumi ever comes to NXT, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Especially for the Joshi stands, because they're gonna go like, I think it'll be worse. When I say worse, I mean the way they behaved when it comes to Julia. If an Azumi ever comes to NXT, it's gonna be that plus on steroids. If she loses, oh my God, how can she lose? Why is she taking a pin? Make her champion. Blah, 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 blah. It's gonna be crazy. Even more so than Julia, I think. Because in the ring, Azumi is undeniable with her quickness and her speed and her maneuvers and how she moves in the ring. Which Kylie, is it Cali? It's like California, or I keep saying it wrong. I keep saying it differently every time. Kelly Armstrong got this same love when she was Evolve champ. So you missed the conversation we just had. The reason why she didn't get the same love from creative or fans, by the way, what are you talking about? You talking about from creative or the fans? The reason why she didn't get the same push or same love was because Kendall Gray from the jump was the chosen one for Evolve. That's why she was on the damn poster front and center. It was always going to be her. It gave Kylie Armstrong that level or that championship to begin with because they like her. But it's always going to be Kendall Gray when it comes to Evolve. They like her a lot, rightfully so. So yeah, I'm not surprised that she's getting a stronger push because she was always supposed to get that push. I was surprised when they didn't put the belt on her at the jump. I thought it's going to be her being the inaugural champion, but no, they gave it to Kylie Armstrong, which is good for her. But yeah, Kendall Gray was always supposed to be the girl. She was always supposed to be the it girl in Evolve. And no, unfortunately, we all know this. Not everybody gets the same push. Obafemi is not going to get the same push as a. He picks somebody to think. An Osborne, right? Trick Williams is not going to get the same push as a who's been champion recently? As a Ethan Page, okay? There are people who are chosen. Obafemi, Trick Williams, chosen. Kendall Gray, chosen. Now you can disagree with it. Yeah, they don't deserve that push. That's fine if you definitely would you choose to believe, but I have much of an issue with it. Okay, everybody don't get the same push. They all can't get the same push. By the way, look at Soruka. Her push is going to be insane. Just know that, right? Will she have the same push as, I don't know, a Carmen Petrovic or a can't even think of it. I'm blanking on names, but anyway, Soruka's push is going to be insane, right? By the way, so what's next for Ricky? Maybe turning heel. Maybe assuming Javon Evans beats Obafemi, you have Ricky Saints against Javon Evans. You do that. You have Ricky Saints against Ethan Page. A Ricky Saints against this new Tony D. We'll talk about Tony D here in a second. So Tony D returned at the end of the show to put down Javon Evans, which almost makes me believe Javon Evans is not going to win unless Tony D is going to be Javon Evans' foil or his opponent after Obafemi leaves, right? But Tony D's back. He attacked Javon Evans. He looks different. I think he abandoned the Mafia gimmick, which is smart because I don't think Triple H would ever book him seriously on the main roster with that. Here's a question. What is the wackiest? Well, I know the answer to that question. It's the Wyatt Six. Beyond the Wyatt Six, what is the wackiest, weirdest gimmick on the main roster that's getting a consistent push from Triple H? Wyatt Six, they're tag team champions. That's spooky, dookie stuff, you know. But beyond that, who is being, like, what's the outlandish or weird gimmick up there? The War Raiders aren't Vikings anymore. They don't do that shit anymore. They're kind of like biker gang vibe. There's nobody. Triple H does not like the goofy stuff. I think Tony D being a mafia, I'm a mafia. I'm an Italian. I'm eating meatballs and spaghetti, and I'm making hits and like putting them down with the fishes. No, that's not going to work on the main roster. Okay, so we need to have a fresh look and a fresh character, and hopefully for him that's what he got, because Tony D was never my favorite, and that gimmick is not great. That Bailey shit flopped so hard. That's not even like a weird gimmick. That's just, she looks normal. She's a person, and she's having some split personality stuff. That's different. That's not, oh, I'm a character. I'm a fireman. I'm a gangster. I'm a weirdo of some sort. That's different. Like having a mental break is different than what I'm talking about. The new beard on Tony has a giving DILF. That's nice. Blake did the personality thing better. I wonder if that's why Bailey's stopped doing it. I mean, we don't know, but if that's the case, it makes sense, because I think Blake Monroe is doing a damn good job with that stuff. So if they're doing the whole Blake Monroe woman from hell thing, the whole split personality there, maybe she decided to not continue with it because of Blake Monroe's shit. But anyway, Obafemi, Cody Rhodes, I think Obafemi should win that match, but because Drew. They're not going to have Obafemi beat Cody clean, but I can see them having Obafemi win because of a distraction from Drew McIntyre. We saw on SmackDown that Cody Rhodes attacked Drew McIntyre in his car, and Drew had to drive off. So I can see a situation where Oba wins because of Drew, and that's huge for him. John Cena's last show, pinning Cody, that's great. That's what I would do. And then you call him up to SmackDown and have Javon Evans beat him. That's fine as well. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. No matter what happens, NXT, once you get to main roster, does not matter. I'm excited for Oba, Cody. I'm excited for Blake and Soruka. Drew's going to interfere? Yeah, he's going to interfere for sure. Do you think they will give Oba a longer reign in his first? That depends. Is he going up to main roster at the end of the year? Then no, it'll be short, right? We'll see. I can see a scenario where they have Obafemi beat Cody, then drop the belt to Javon Evans, and then go up to main roster. I can see that. You mean Bailey Soruka? What did I say? I didn't say Bailey Soruka. What did I say? Ethan Page for the North American Championship, but they rushed him into the NXT World Championship. Oh yeah, they did. You're right. Why would BFAP join Jade? Okay, let's talk about that. Is it Blake? I got you. Okay. Yeah, Bailey, not Blake. Bailey versus Soruka, that'd be a fun one. I think they're probably gonna add some more matches. I mean, why not? What are the other matches you would want to see that make sense? Well, then again, I'm gonna say Blake again. Bailey versus Soruka was not really a storyline driven thing, right? It just kind of happened. We choose Blake. I said Blake again. Why am I saying Blake? I don't know why I'm doing that. We choose Bailey and Soruka to have a match. That's all it kind of was. No real reason for it. But yeah, I'm surprised. One, I'm surprised as well. I'm surprised. I'm happily surprised. I take it in stride. I love it because I'd rather see Oba versus Cody. I want Obafemi to have that stage against Cody. For folks that don't know, for folks that have been sleeping on him, I want folks to see him, and I want Cody to put him over, and I want Obafemi to be on the main roster soon. Ricky saying it's going to cost him? Nah, he's still in a babyface mode for now. That'd be silly. I could see them doing Blake and Charlotte for some reason. Why not? That's just as random as Bailey Soul. So why not do Blake Charlotte or Roxanne? Not Roxanne. Used to be like an establishment. Someone in an establishment, like Natty versus someone, or Charlotte versus a Blake, or who's another like veteran, like a established talent on the main roster. It can't be somebody who just got called up recently. He'd be like an established main roster, like Alexa versus Tatum. Weird versus weird, right there. I wonder if any Judgment Day members will get a match on that card. Liv versus Blake. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. What else happened on that card? So that's the big stuff. Obafemi winning, facing Cody, awesome. Kendall Gray winning. They believe in her. She's gonna push. I believe she probably loses to JC Jane, but that's still pretty good. What's happening with Ren QCC? I don't know. Will there be another member added? I don't know. But I thought the show was good overall. Who's gonna beat Ethan Page? No clue how that's gonna go down. No clue. I saw there's this weird interaction. Let's talk about Soruka real quick. Talk about Soruka. There's this weird interaction she had backstage. Well, Kendall Gray won her match, of course. She's celebrating, and then Soruka come up and said, hey, I would have won if it wasn't for my injury and it wasn't for the fact that I came in later than you did. And she said, I'm going to defend my friend Zarya. It's almost like they're setting up a Soruka versus Ren Sinclair match for Tuesday, something like that. But they're still trying to sell that Soruka loves Zarya and wants to stick by her. So she went back there and kind of behaved like a heel a little bit. I won't say she's turning heel, but it was a little bit of a, hey, I won, you won because I wasn't in the best circumstance, whatever, and I'm gonna defend my friend and screw you. But Zarya tried to spear you, clearly. Are you blind? And Zarya speared Kendall Gray, so of course they'll be upset. Like, I don't understand where Soruka gets off being upset about anything that Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair said, considering Zarya did spear Kendall Gray. That was weird. That was weird. We'll see where it goes. I believe at this point, Soul versus Zarya is going all the way to Stand and Deliver at this point. I mean, that's where this is headed. Are we taking this to Stand and Deliver? I don't know. I mean, this is a segment. I mean, she's getting upset at Ren Sinclair because he brought up the reality that Zarya speared Kendall Gray and Kendall Gray was not 100% either. It was weird. Maybe she's just upset she lost. She's upset that Kalani Jordan went after her knee, which is funny. Kalani Jordan, her face in that cage when she took out Sol Ruka was hilarious. But I'm intrigued to see what this goes. I do believe we're getting a Sol Ruka versus Ren Sinclair match here soon. But yeah, we'll see where this is headed. How long can they hold off the Zarya Sol Ruka feud when clearly Zarya tried to spear you? I mean, this is like some ridiculous stuff here. I mean, I can only suspend my disbelief for that long. I mean, she clearly tried to spear you, Sol Ruka. Clearly. Anyway. They might pull a New Day with Sol and Zarya with them as heels. Zarya turning heel? No, you have to get the Zarya Sol feud. That has to happen. I think Zarya would be the heel in the feud, but we'll see. They gotta send Julia back to NXT. No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't. No, they don't. Overall, NXT Deadline was good. Let's move on to some other stuff. Let's talk about what I think is happening with Jade Cargill on SmackDown. So we all know Jade Cargill, SmackDown writer, is not great. It's not the best over there. We can only hope that the plan is to give Jade a faction. I think that's what's going to happen here. Based on what we're seeing on SmackDown, Jade keeps talking shit to B-Fab. In the last 2 weeks, B-Fab has said nothing. She's been quiet. I believe clearly we're setting up a situation where B-Fab will fall in line under Jade Cargill. That's where this is headed to. It's pretty clear. I mean, back-to-back weeks, B-Fab is saying nothing to her when Jade Cargill presses her. Like nothing. And I think that's heading towards B-Fab falling in line under Jade. The question is, what's going to happen with Michin? If I were booking it, I'd do the same thing. I'd have Jade beat Michin, and Michin fall in line under Jade Cargill. And then you have Jade with her two baddies being B-Fab and the head bitch in charge, Michin. That all makes sense. HIBC, right? Isn't that what Michin calls herself? That makes sense. I think that works. I think it looks good. And I think it gives them something to do. Because without that, you're going to have Michin and B-Fab in catering for months on end. So I think it's better to give them something. And this is what I would do. Go ahead and put them together. Julia should turn face. I agree. She should. And she will if Kiana James turns. Yeah, JT Jane, senior citizen in NXT right now, she is. But I think this makes sense. They teased it when they were all baby faces. They're all kind of getting along. You know, they're all like supporting each other. Now you have Jade turning heel. B-Fab is next. Then Michin is next. Then you have this faction going forward. Gives them something to do. Gives Jade Cargill's people to boss around and to, lead. Makes sense. So B-Fab is definitely joining Jade. I think Michin should too. At least that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Thoughts? Are you happy with this? What you think is a mistake? What's going on here? So if B-Fab and Michin go to be heels, then where are the faces? I'll tell you why. I'll show you where. Transfer window at the end of the year. Okay? You call up Jordan Grace. You call up Lola Vice, maybe. You make sure Charlotte Flair, can one Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss lose the tag titles? Because I don't think they're going to win it. Once they're done with the tag title scene, Charlotte Flair, babyface. Alexa Bliss, babyface. Tiffany Stratton returns. We have Jordan Grace, Via Lola, Charlotte, Alexa, and Tiffany returning. So those are your baby faces. That's what they should do. SmackDown's going to 3 hours. And then you can pull over somebody from Raw if you want. If you want. Pull over somebody from Raw. I don't know. Elira? Bailey? I don't know. But yeah, this is where this is headed, I think. You're going to get B-Fab and Jade. And the question is, do you add a Michin? I think they should. Rhea Ripley will also be on SmackDown, but that's to give her friend Damien something to do. So Rhea Ripley will work in SmackDown and Raw in tag teams. Tag teaming with EO on Raw and tag teaming with Damian Priest on SmackDown. Doing double duty, which is okay these days because we don't have much live events anymore. So you can work a Raw and SmackDown and not be as exhausted as you were back in the day when you're working Saturdays and Sundays doing live events. Rhea will be on SmackDown with her Damian Priest storyline. And we'll see where it goes. Then we're going to get Jade, B-Fab Michin versus Bianca, Charlotte, Alexa. That's a safe bet if Bianca goes to SmackDown. Yeah, that's a safe bet. I think Charlotte, Bianca, and Alexa would be a unit, sure. Is that what I want? No. I want Bianca Belair on Raw, but hey, you can't always get what you want, okay? You can't always get what you want, unfortunately. When it comes to the Tatum Paxley of it all, I want to see Lyra Valkyria added to the storyline. Lyra was involved before, so I don't think it makes much sense for Lyra to be out of the picture here. Lyra was always involved in the storyline before. I think Lyra needs to explain herself to Tatum. Like, where have you been? You've been watching me get my ass kicked. You've been watching me get betrayed by Easy Dame, and you've been nowhere. Tatum was originally in the story. When it comes to, let's say Tatum, Lyra Valkyria was originally in the story when it comes to Tatum and Easy Dame. So I think she needs to be involved again. But I think she needs to explain herself. She needs to explain why she's not been around. That is where this needs to go. I like the character stuff they did in the match. I didn't mind it one bit. We'll see where it goes. But I need Tatum to be working with Lyra going forward. I think it makes the most sense. Jade going to have to carry her team. Carry in what way? Michin can go. Michin can go in the ring. I don't mind Julia joining Kabuki Warriors and create a new Damage Control faction. Okay, here's the thing about Julia, okay? I think her best bet is to go babyface and for Kiana James to turn on her. You have Kiana James join Jade's crew. That's probably her best bet. But ultimately, it's all about storylines. Doesn't matter who's champion. What matters is who has a story. So long as she doesn't have a storyline, it's gonna be rough. So whatever your prediction is, or whatever your suggestion is, it should be a story for her. Do I want to see her with Damage Control or with the Kabuki Warriors? Not necessarily, but if that gives us a story, sure. It's all about storylines. Does Julia beat Chelsea Green? I'm gonna guess yes for now, but I'm not sure, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna guess yes. I'm gonna guess she wins the belt back from especially green. Not that that matters because, again, having a belt and having a story are two different things. It doesn't really matter who's champion right now. Give me a story. I see people complaining about Jordan Grace's booking, comparing her to LA Knight. Again, does not matter what happens in NXT. Doesn't matter. What matters is her booking once she gets to the main roster. That's all that matters. All that matters, man. I'm telling you. Think Charlotte's going to be the mid-card champ? I don't think so. Alexa, maybe. Will Kalani Jordan ever win the NXT Women's title? Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. They like her, clearly. They like her. She's very talented. She was the MVP of the match last night. It could happen. Sure. Wouldn't be surprised one bit by that. Not one bit. Anything to get her away from Jade. Get who away from Jade? Bianca? Get who away from Jade? This is some wholesome stuff here, right? You see Bailey with the Lowstone girls that she invited over there, or she handpicked. See Bailey talking to Bianca here. See Bailey talking to Bianca here. You see, look at Cora Jade. Cora Jade, Maxine, Roxanne. I think that's Nikki Blackheart, her name is. And Bailey. Down here you see Bianca, Rhea, and Natty talking to the women. You need to release this. I want to see the Bianca, Rhea, Natty combo or TED Talk here. It's all good stuff, wholesome stuff. Let me just mute Twitter altogether. There we go. That Cora, yes. It's Cora, Maxine, right here. Cora, Maxine, Roxanne, I think Nikki Blackheart, I think that's her name, and Bailey. It's Bianca and Bailey talking, watching them wrestle. And this is all the girls up here. With Rhea, Bianca, Maxine. I think Ivy Nile is up there. It's in the ring. Last Lyra down there. Who else is there? Cora's right there. Roxanne's right there. Yeah, so it's Roxanne, Cora, Bailey, Maxine Dupree's up there. Ivy Nile's up there. Rhea Ripley and Bianca up there in the ring. Can't even see it because of. Can't even see it right now because of how it looks. Let me see. Yes, it can't show it because it's getting clipped at the top. But they're up there in the ring. Anyway, good shit. Yeah, that's it for NXT Deadline. Good show. Good show. I was impressed. Surprises, great matches. The Survivor Series need to adapt the Iron Survivor, I think. Get rid of War Games and bring the Iron Survivor to the main roster. It's too good a concept to stay in NXT alone. At least that's what I think. John Cena spent 8 hours at Bailey's shindig. 8 hours with the women there. That's crazy. 8 hours. Why they say he's the GOAT? That's awesome. They should send the War Games back to NXT. I agree. NXT should get War Games. Because I think they'll do a better job building towards War Games anyway. Down in NXT. And then the main roster gets the Iron Survivor. I love that match, man. I really do. I love the match concept. It's great. The OC Japanese Bloodline storyline with Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Julia will be a very intriguing storyline with great storytelling. Oshi Japanese bloodline. Sure, anything can be good. Anything can be good with the right writers and the right investment from the writers. You need Charlotte versus Jade. That'll probably happen here soon. Then War Games to evolve. Sure, why not? Why not? I don't hate that. I just need a break from War Games. That's all. Just a break. That's all I ask. You know? Is that Brooke Havoc? Yep, it is. Is Bailey with Brooke Havoc, indie wrestler. I'm somewhat familiar with her. I've seen her wrestle a couple times. Good wrestler. Good wrestler. I wouldn't say she's a hooper, but she's good in the ring. Solid wrestler. Okay, what else happened this weekend? Oh yeah, how could I forget? Mercedes Moné lost a belt. So apparently, the downfall has arrived. The downfall of Mercedes Moné is on the horizon, folks. Are you excited? Are you hyped? Isn't this what you wanted? Mercedes Moné taking L's. She dropped the Ring of Honor belt. I think our next match is against Riho. For the I forgot the name of the UK belt she has, but she's facing Riho, and I think she might drop that one as well. We'll see. She's crashing out. She's crashing out on Twitter. She's going crazy. Is this actually going to happen? Will she actually start dropping all her belts? Might as well. I'd say. You might as well. Ultimo Monet. She's crashing out. She's acting crazy. Which you won on Collision, right? But before that, she was acting crazy. I'm the greatest TBS champion of all time. Pray that she will receive the blessing that she's looking for. I pray for her healing. I hope she's okay. I feel like I'm in a different universe. I just woke up from a bad dream. Shut up. So here's the match here. She has coming up for Red Pro. Let's see where it is. Here it is. I think it's very possible that come the 14th, drops another belt. The Undisputed British Women's Championship. If she loses here, they're doing the downfall storyline. Okay. If she loses this match, she's going to drop all her belts consecutively. But we'll see. Is she getting tired of walking through, going through the airport with all those damn belts? Getting tired of going through TSA. But if you drop this belt here, then it's happening. The downfall storyline is actually happening. But yeah, she lost. New Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, Red Velvet, and she couldn't believe it. Look at all these emojis. Cannot believe what happened. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe there's something interesting there. We'll see. What else? WWE and AW are petty as F or as fuck. One gotta do the other. WWE hosts an event in Texas at town in the middle of bumfuck nowhere just to counter an AW event that day. What are you talking about? What event are you talking about? She'll lose one of them, win another. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Because if she's going to keep having a bunch of belts, I don't know why Tony Khan would pull the trigger on Red Velvet right now. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping for something interesting. I'm hoping for something compelling. So I'm gonna hope that that's what they're doing to change it up here. But who knows? Who knows? Let's see what else I'm missing here. Talked about. Okay, Gunther. Okay, Gunther. So Gunther will be facing John Cena. Got no problem with that one bit. I love this matchup, honestly. Gunther will bring the best out of John Cena. Gunther brings the best out of everybody he wrestles. So this is going to be a banger. The question is, does John Cena win or lose? I'm going to say, I don't know. Cena would probably want to lose. He's old school. Triple H is old school. I don't think John Cena will tap. So if he does lock in a submission, he'll be knocked out or he'll faint or whatever we want to call it. Not going to tap. John Cena never taps. John Cena never gives up, right? But I'm happy with this match. Now, LA Knight fans, they're upset, but they're always upset. They downvoted this freaking match on YouTube like crazy. They're upset that LA Knight did not win the match. I don't think LA Knight versus John Cena makes any sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. So that match was never going to happen. So I'm perfectly happy with Gunther winning that match. And I'm perfectly happy with Gunther versus John Cena for his last match. Perfectly fine. I thought John Cena never tapped. Could be wrong, but I thought he never tapped. How long ago was it that Cena tapped to Kurt Angle? Regardless, I don't think Cena's going to tap on his last match. It's not happening. Maybe he gets pinned, but I don't think he's going to tap at all. I would have booked Cena to win, but that's just me. That's just me. I would book him to win, but whatever. Whatever. I'm more interested in the NXT versus main roster matches, honestly. I want to see. I'm very, very intrigued by Cody versus Obafemi. Very intrigued on how that's going to be booked. I want to see Obafemi look strong as hell in that match and pin Cody Rhodes. Yeah, if you got pinned or you got submitted in the early years, then whatever. That's fine. But I don't think he tapped when he became like, the ultimate goody goody. I could be wrong. Could be wrong for sure. Okay. Any questions or any topic want me to talk about that haven't talked about yet? Talk about Mercedes Moné. Talked about Jade. I talked about Gunther and Cena and Obafemi and what's his face? Javon Evans, Kendall Gray, all that stuff. Anything else that's relevant to talk about? Let me scroll my timeline to see. No, I don't think so. Taught by Rhea helping out Damian Priest on SmackDown to help the SmackDown ratings. So good job there, I guess. We'll see how that goes. Oh, Carmelo Hayes versus Dragunov was great, by the way. Great match. And Carmelo Hayes got screwed, which you would think will lead to a rematch, but that's not happening. You're going to get Ciampa versus Dragunov, and no rematch for Melo. The women's tag title scene, I think it's great. I think the WWE are investing in that tag scene. I have to be honest, the real reason why that's happening, I think, is to give us something to do for the women until Rumble season, which is fine. That's not a knock. Perfectly fine. You're going to have all these women, all these big players, Charlotte, Roxanne, Alexa, Asuka, Kyrie, Nia Jax, all these big players, Bayley, Lyra, in the tag team division scene until it's Rumble season, which will probably be after the show they're building towards at the beginning of the year for Netflix, that big show to start the year where CM Punk is facing Braun Breaker. After that show, full on Rumble season, full on Rumble build. But until then, you'll see a focus on the women's tag team division. We'll see what happens after that. But yeah, I'm happy with it. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what the actual match is. Will it be a multi-woman match? Will it be a fatal 4-way tag team match between maybe Charlotte, Alexa, Riho? Funny how the tag team names are just like ship names. Like there's no actual, like, at least Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest are the Terror Twins. Meanwhile, Charlotte and Alexa are just Charlexa, and Riho is just Rhea and Io. No real creativity there, just ship names, right? But I see those two with the Kabuki Warriors and maybe Nia Lash. Where does that leave Bayley and Lyra? I don't know. But I kind of see those four as the main players. I didn't bring up Roxanne in. How are they going to do this? Will it be like a number one contenders match or something like that? Like a fatal 4-way first, and whoever wins gets Asuka and Kyrie? You have Roxanne and Raquel, Charlotte, Alexa, Rhea, Io, Bayley, Lyra, and Nia. Good luck. Good luck. That's 5 tag teams vying for those belts. What are they going to do? Dare I say an actual tournament? Be kind of cool to see a women's tag team tournament like that to face Asuka and Kyrie. That'd be kind of cool. The winner faces Asuka and Kyrie on that Netflix show. That big beginning of the year Netflix show. That could work. What do you think about Nikki Bella as a heel manager? Sure, why not? That's fine. Her in-ring, you just can't keep up with the new talent, which is not a knock. It's just how it is. So instead of having her face off with these women who can go like a Stephanie Vaquer, you can have her be a heel manager. That's fine. Who would she be managing? Beats me. Honestly, I could see like a fail influence, but that's NXT. Nobody else really needs a manager. Roxanne and Raquel have Liv basically running the show. So yeah, I don't know who we should be managing. What? Ivy Nile and crew? Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Who we should be managing? NXT be our best bet. Yeah, JC Jane and Fallon Henley? I can see that. Yeah, I don't think Nikki Bella fits in right now. I just don't. Unfortunately, I don't see her fitting in right now. The landscape has changed. I said the landscape has changed. The landscape has changed. unfortunately for her. So can we get back to the real storyline for Asuka and Io? Sure, I would love to see that. I would love to see that happen. Fortunately, I think the focus now is the tag team wrestling, which is fine. I'm happy that the tag team is getting the tag team scene is getting a lot of attention and heat. So that is where Asuka and Io is being booked, right? That's where their creative direction is going. The tag titles, so that's fine. Liv is getting turned on by Raquel whenever her and Stephanie face. Why? Why would Raquel, who's gonna, I would assume, is vying for the tag titles, why would Raquel turn on Liv Morgan? I'm interested to see what happens with Liv and Finn. That's where the meat is. That's the meat of the story right there. It's Finn and Liv. How's that going to turn out? Because I do believe, I mentioned this on Raw, or after Raw, not on Raw. I talked about it after Raw. I think Liv Morgan is going to try to rope in Roxanne. Finn brought Roxanne in, if you remember, to mess with Liv Morgan. And that's where that was headed, right? But I think Liv is going to have it backfire on Finn Balor by bringing in Roxanne, embracing Roxanne, bringing Roxanne under her wing, and leaving Finn Balor out in the dust. I think Liv Morgan's plan, you saw a little bit of that on Raw. When Roxanne tried to give her the belt, she said, nah, you're good. You can have it. I think the plan is to rope Liv Morgan, well, rope Roxanne in and have Roxanne under her, loyal to Liv Morgan. I think that's where it's headed to. But I could be wrong. We'll see. But I don't think we're going to get a Roxanne and Dom situation. That's not happening. I think folks who think they're going to have a Liv and Roxanne fighting for Dom, that's not happening, I don't think. Liv is smarter than that. She's more calculated. She knows what Finn was trying to do. And I think we're going to get Liv Morgan supporting Roxanne. And that whole thing Finn was trying to do will backfire. One thing to keep in mind. Triple H loves his factions. He loves factions to hold the gold. Don't be surprised if Roxanne and Raquel win the tag titles. Liv Morgan beats Stephanie. I will not be surprised one bit if the Judgment Day women are holding the gold on Raw. Because Stephanie, unfortunately, would always say it with me, no matter who's champion, what matters is who has a story. And it's better to be chasing. Liv Morgan returned. Liv Morgan is chasing. Liv Morgan has a faction in the storyline with Finn Balor. Liv Morgan is in a better spot by far. It's not even close, right? It's not even close. Liv Morgan is in a better spot than Stephanie Becerra. It's not even, it's a joke to even compare it to. You think the naive fan will say, what do you mean? Stephanie's champion. Sir, ma'am, not matter who's champion. Person with the storyline, with the character moment, with the creative juice, has the power. Liv Morgan is in a far superior position than Stephanie right now. Not even close. Yeah, I would not be surprised one bit if they pull the trigger, put the belt on Liv. Liv has the power. Liv is the one who is in the better position. So come beginning of the year, I can see CM Punk versus Braun Breaker, Liv Morgan versus Stephanie on that card. I can see a tag team match for the women also. Don't be surprised Liv Morgan wins the belt in January. So I'm going to say it's better to be chasing. Under Triple H, it is always better to be chasing. Stephanie wouldn't be champ if Naomi didn't get pregnant. That's true. That's also true. Look at how Roxanne. Look at how Raquel has been built up since Liv been out. This is her chance to not want to be the sidekick. That could happen, but there's no evidence of that happening yet. There's no evidence of it. Could it happen? Sure, but until I see some evidence, I will not say that's going to happen or predict that's going to happen. But it's a legitimate storyline that could happen, but no indicators that's actually going to happen, you know? Okay. Any more questions before I wrap it up here? I feel like I'm missing something, but it's been a whole week since my last stream, so I probably am missing something. That's true. But Raquel did say she wanted a title match. It's possible. You can have a Liv Morgan Raquel situation here. For sure, it could happen. Then again, on Raw, Raquel, I mean, I just showed you the image. I just showed you the image. Raquel standing tall in the middle of the ring, holding up those tag titles. So who's to say what's going to happen, you know? If this is what Liv Morgan wants, this is what Liv Morgan gets. Liv Morgan wants Raquel and Roxanne in the tag division. Raquel, who loves Liv Morgan, will be happy to oblige. She should be happy to stand in line. Will get in line behind Liv Morgan. You seem pretty happy holding up that tag titles. Pretty happy. If you ask me. Pretty happy she is. There's a video of Raquel pulling her arm away aggressively. Show it to me. Give me that. Later on. Doesn't have to be right now, but later on, show me that. What else is happening in the world of wrestling that I can remember? Wyatt 6 are finally in a proper feud with the Solos crew. So we'll see where that leads. Should be fun. I mean, I hope it's fun. We don't know. We'll see where the Wyatt 6 stuff goes with Solo Sikoa. The mystery person that attacked CM Punk has not been revealed. Nobody knows. Not even the Vision knows. Paul Heyman said he doesn't know. He's lying? I don't know, but that's what he's saying. TNA will be on AMC. Not bad. TV deal at all. Not bad at all. Makes sense. AMC, it's in a lot of homes. It's on YouTube TV, so I'm happy about that. I can watch it every week on YouTube TV, so that's a good deal for TNA, I think. What else? What's next for Brock? Who knows? Off TV for a while. They're going to do something with the Psycho Circus faction, MFTs, and the Wyatt Jobbers. Well, tell me how you really feel. Jeez. Yeah, I'm thinking JC Jane retains. What I think. Oh look, so New Year's Evil is a day after that Netflix show, the big Netflix show. So it'll be a big week. When this week is over, it's all Rumble season, folks. This will be a big week for the WWE. Big week. Okay. 3 hour SmackDowns are coming back at the beginning of the year. So you're gonna get more tag team wrestling. You're gonna get more of the I don't know what's going on with what's their face. Why isn't Montez Ford going for the tag, not tag, but the U.S. title? Why isn't Montez Ford? Why isn't Angelo Dawkins going for the U.S. title? Tompa can. I want to say Johnny Cardona. Uh, Gargano is. But why can't Montez go for the mid card belt? It is what it is. We'll see. Maybe when the show goes back to 3 hours, the Street Profits will come back, but we don't know. Big show. I'm going to guess right now. I mean, I desperately want Javon Evans to win the belt so Obafemi can go to main roster, but who knows? And then here, I mean, it's a Tuesday on CW. Not like it's not PLE. I'm pretty sure JC Jane retains. I'm good with there. I'm good with JC Jane retaining. Obafemi is a little back and forth, but you forced me to guess. I say Obafemi retains. So, but it is what it is. Nikki Bella can manage Kalani Jordan. Yeah, that could work. It would have to be an NXT talent, I think, for it to make sense. That's just how I see it. It would need to be an NXT talent. Okay, folks, that's it for the stream. Unless something else pops up last second, I don't see anything here. Do me a favor, hit like, subscribe if not subscribed. Give me a like, don't mind, and talk guys later. Peace.